Good afternoon. My name is James K. Holder II. Some of you may know me as Sir James II. I'd like to welcome you back to the counter. Today we're working on one of the most difficult techniques in cuisine, which is the classic French omelet. So I'm going to try to do my best to make this recipe appear as simple to do and easy to prepare as possible. And let's get started with our ingredients. We've got our 4 eggs, we've got our butter, we got a little garnish, so a little green onion, just the green parts. We've got a little splash of water, some salt, and then for our tools, we've got a large mixing bowl, a whisk, a knife, a silicone spatula, and also an omelet pan. So now the first thing I want to do is just start with a fresh egg. Make sure there's, the fresher the better. These are Eggland's Best, nothing fancy. I just want to crack these. Make sure we're not getting any shell in here. Best way to crack an egg is on a flat surface, not on a corner. To this, I want to add just a sprinkling of salt. We're going to add a little bit more salt later, but this is just to start it all out. And then sort of the secret ingredient is a little bit of cold water, maybe like half a teaspoon for the 4 eggs. So you want to break the yolks, and you want to just whisk these quite vigorously until they come to a fully combined consistency. It'll sort of, right now you can see how long that takes to drip off. Once this is ready to put in the pan, it will have a much different consistency, which I'll show you. So while I'm whisking this, I want to go ahead and bring my omelet pan up to temperature. So on medium heat, I'm going to bring my nonstick pan up, and I want it to be very even. You don't have to whisk this forever, but you just want to get it to that final stage. So fully combined, and you see how before it was that long drip off of the spatula, and now it's just, it immediately drips right off. So that's what we're looking for. And I'm going to just let that sit for a moment. So this is coming up. This is basically warm and ready to go. So I'm going to place my pat of butter in here, let that start warming. I probably didn't need that much butter in this pan, but I'll let that sort of fizzle up and coat the base of the pan. So as soon as the butter becomes all melted, just like that, you don't want it to start browning. I'm going to go ahead and just give this a quick little stir again. Just pour this right on into the pan. And I want to immediately start pulling this all in. So you don't really want any solid curds to form. You just kind of want to keep the eggs moving. You want to kind of do a multi-function sort of maneuver where you kind of move the pan, keep the pan going, and then you also keep scraping the eggs into the center. And keep that going. I can start to see the eggs solidifying slightly on here. There's a little bit of foam on top, and that's fine. But just keep the pan moving. I like to use this little silicone spatula just because it bends, it folds with the curve of the pan. So now I'm starting to get really good solid chunks here. And so I want to just make sure I keep shaking this out. If you want to form a clockwise motion or a counterclockwise motion, then that works. If that works for you, you want to just basically get to the point where you're shaking it out and stirring it as it comes together, and as long as you can shake it and it spreads back out and evens to the bottom of the pan, then you're good. Now we're at a point where I can't really shake it and even it out. So I'm going to start spreading it out onto the pan like so, like with the spatula. I'm going to reduce the temperature down from about a 6 to about a 3, and I want to just keep making sure that all the egg is like evenly spread out. You don't want it to stick too far to the bottom. So I'm starting to see it all form together. And so when all of this is done, you want the texture to be somewhat firm. You want it to be fluffy. You want it to be fully cooked, but you want a little bit of sort of leeway. And you can see now it's dripping a little bit. So I'm going to let that form slightly while I start scraping from the side. If you can still move the egg around with the spatula to like shallower areas, then that means you've got a little bit longer to go. See how that's solid now? So now I'm going to start trying to form this. And I want to kind of just tilt, fold this over, keep going. And I'm not going to go fully. I want to just sort of separate this part here. And I want this pan to be able to do most of the work when I slide this part out onto my plate. So let's hope for the best here. And then I want to just kind of shimmy this out. Okay. I've had better flip outs than that, but it's not terrible. And now I'm just going to form it. Don't be afraid to form it after you flip it out. It's fine. I like to go over with one little dab of butter just to kind of gloss it up a little bit. A little bit of salt. And then, of course, our final garnish. You can use chive here, or I'm using green onion because that's what I have. But it's a nice little presentation. So this is my omelet. There's a little bit of split here, but it's not the end of the world. And I'm just going to clean this plate up. And of course, you don't add any black pepper to this. You don't add anything like that. You want it to be this nice mellow yellow. I'm going to cut this in half. See, nice even cut. And you really want this fluffy, round texture in here. You want a little bit of, you want it to be like a little tender, not so rough, and you want to be able to kind of see a little bit of liquid in there, but not like running. Wow. This is really good. Great texture on this. Lots of flavor, so there's just a true focus on that fresh egg itself. You want to follow the directions from the egg. You want to listen to the egg, watch it, let it tell you what to do. With a little bit of time, a little bit of practice, you can really, really master this technique. So, enjoy, have fun, crack a few eggs, break a few eggs, and learn something while you're at it. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you'll tune in to future episodes of The Counter at www.thecountertv.com. I hope you like, share, comment, and subscribe. I want you to retweet this and repeat this video. And most importantly, I'd like to ask you to relax, relate, and resist. Thank you.